Are you stuck in conflict? Today I want to talk about a mindset shift that you need to get out of that funk. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a coach and consultant for high achievers, visionary entrepreneurs, and leaders in high stakes environments. I empower individuals and businesses to amplify their impact by mastering the art of systems-driven discipline, which is the foundation of personal, professional, and strategic success. So have you ever felt like you're just stuck in a high conflict situation with no way out? Whether it's a difficult coworker, a demanding client, or a personal relationship that just feels like this constant tug of war, sometimes the situation just won't budge, or you feel like it's not, right? But here's the good news. You don't have to change the situation to change your experience of it. Interesting, right? There's so much science behind perspective shifts. A study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that reframing a conflict as a challenge rather than a threat, it leads to better problem solving, reduced stress, and more positive outcomes. So let's reframe the way that we're looking at this conflict. The way you think about conflict, it shapes your ability to be able to handle it. There's also another study from Stanford University which highlights that people who adopt a growth mindset during conflict, they see it as an opportunity to learn, and they report higher resilience and emotional control. So translation here is that your mindset isn't just fluff. It could be a game changer, especially in a really difficult situation. And research from the American Psychological Association also suggests that when individuals perceive a situation as uncontrollable, their ability to regulate emotions improves when they focus on meaning, making meaning rather than an immediate resolution. So if we stop and we take a deep breath and we think through the situation and we try to find the right strategies, it can help our attitude towards it. It can help us learn from it and figure out the right strategy. So this means that learning to see the value and lessons in these conflicts, it can improve your emotional well-being while you're going through it. And even afterwards, because we're all learning how to deal with people all the time, right? So how do you shift your perspective in a high conflict situation? Here are 4 evidence-based strategies to help you gain control when you feel powerless. The first one is name it to tame it. So label your emotions. Studies show that naming your feelings, it reduces their intensity. So instead of saying, I'm furious, try, I'm feeling frustrated because I want to be heard. This technique, rooted in the affect labeling, has been shown to reduce emotional distress and increase self-regulation. Interesting, right? And a second area and strategy is to reframe the narrative. So instead of this person is impossible and just going for this victim mindset, try this person has a different approach and I know that I can adapt my response to them. Cognitive reframing, it helps reduce stress and it increases problem-solving abilities. It puts you in the strategy of, I know they're difficult, but I'm going to figure it out. Additionally, research on negotiation tactics, it suggests that reframing conflict as an opportunity to collaborate rather than compete, it could lead to more favorable outcomes. So if we can take even a terrible situation with someone that's really high conflict, step back and just try to figure them out, or try to figure out how am I going to approach them in a way that I can get what I want out of it and the conflict is either resolved or it's not as intense. A third strategy is to zoom out. So ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Or how would my future self handle this? A Harvard Business Review study found that taking a long-term perspective, it leads to better decision making and lower emotional activity. Sometimes when we're dealing with difficult people or a difficult situation, we want it resolved as soon as possible. And that's the key as well. I mean, we don't want to be suffering, but sometimes when we're so quick to get things solved and we're quick to react as well. So we're not bringing out the best in ourselves either to make this situation dissolve as quickly as possible. So this technique, known as temporal distancing, it also is used in cognitive behavioral therapy to help individuals manage their stress more effectively. So think about how you're going to handle this over the long term, not just short-term reacting, because a lot of the short-term reacting causes this to go on and on and on. So we have to have a strategy around it, right? A fourth strategy is adopting a third-person perspective. So instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? You know, the sky is falling, Chicken Little, right? Try asking yourself, how would I advise a friend in the same situation? So it helps you kind of take yourself out of the situation and look in, outside looking in approach, right? Research from Cross in a 2014 study suggested that self-distancing and viewing your experience as if you were this outside observer, it reduces emotional intensity and it promotes wiser reasoning. Because we've all been there. Sometimes we're in a situation and then, you know, or a friend is in a situation and you see the way that they're reacting and it's so different than how you would approach it, right? So maybe take a step back and look at it from an outsider looking in. How would someone else look at this? Or you could always get a coach, get a friend that's close to the situation to maybe help you to get that perspective and to see. So some final thoughts here is you have more power than you think you do. You may not be able to control the conflict, but you can control how you experience it. And that's where the real power lies. So developing these mindset shifts, it takes practice, but the more that you use them, the more resilient you will become in handling any difficult interactions. So what's one perspective shift that has helped you in some tough situations? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and add to this list. So if you're looking to maybe up your discipline game, download my free ebook, Discipline Made Simple, 5 proven steps to transform your life in the next 30 days. I'll put the link in the comments and the description below. So if you found this content valuable, please consider sharing. Please consider subscribing. Thank you for joining me here today, and we'll see you all in the next video.